Well, I thought I'd do a quick little review on all my Milwaukee tools that I have for my job profession. And also, I never fill out the little promotion things when you buy a really super expensive tool, which is that big thing I bought a couple of months ago, but my wife usually fills them out for me. So I don't know what goodies I got, but they do send you, Milwaukee's really good about sending you free new tools, like 2 or 3 new tools every time you buy a really expensive tool from them. So it'll be kind of fun to open up those boxes and see what Milwaukee actually sent me, because I didn't look at the promotion. My wife said it'd be kind of fun to get them and have a mystery box and see what the heck they sent me. So we'll get set up here and we'll take a look at my tools, how they've worked, and my gripes about them. I've had the M18 Milwaukee drill for going on 3 years now. I have another battery, I just don't have it out. You can figure I need to get the battery. I do have the case for this drill somewhere, but it's probably buried in storage somewhere, so I couldn't find it. So before Milwaukee, we always had DeWalt tools is what I usually bought for the job, but Milwaukee started kind of coming out with some cooler tools that would actually help me in the field a lot more than DeWalt was at the time, so ended up just kind of switching over to Milwaukee a few years ago. So one thing my DeWalt tools didn't have, and they probably have now, but is the little battery indicator on your battery, so you know how dead or how alive your batteries are. But it's been a really good drill so far. I think my biggest complaint with it is that the chuck actually gets stuck to where I have to use pliers to unlock it, and I do put WD-40 in there quite a bit and clean it out, but it's got the little clicky type of, you're tightening it thing, and I usually just kind of click it there, but sometimes it gets really hard and really tough, and I have to actually get pliers or channel locks or something out to actually get the chuck loose. So that's probably been about the worst part about this drill. The batteries last a really long time, and I used the crap out of this drill, and that is a really nice feature about it. I think these are probably the extended pack or something maybe, but anyways, we bought this a few years ago. I don't remember how much it cost, but I didn't get any free tools with it because it was just an individual tool, so it was probably, you know, $250, $300, something like that. But we'll move on to the next thing here. We'll move on to this before I get to the flashlight. So this tool here I don't actually use in my job profession. I use it here in my garage. This little 3/8 impact, and you can see it's been used. Been a really good impact. The biggest problem I have with it is the little kind of spring C-clip thing on the end there to keep your sockets on. I don't know if it broke, fell off, but it's been missing for a while, and of course sockets fall right off of it. It does have 2 modes. I don't know what the actual torque is on them, but I always just leave it in number 2 because that does the best for loosening and tightening stuff. But it's been really good. It does kind of go through batteries. These are just the little M12 batteries. It does go through a charged battery pretty quick. I do have 2 for it, and it doesn't take too long to charge. You know, maybe an hour or so to charge up one of these batteries, but it's been really good other than that little thing fell off, and I've asked guys that represent Milwaukee around us all the time about a replacement thing and clip, and they tell me, you know, they don't know what to do. They told me I could send it in for warranty maybe or something, but that's probably my biggest complaint on that little impact. So good tool. I really like having it in the shop. So we'll get to this big thing here. So I bought this 2-3 months ago, not too terribly long ago. you'll probably start getting a better idea what my job profession is after you see this one. But this cost $3,100, and we had a smaller version of this tool, and I don't have it anymore. I actually sold it to help pay for this tool because it could be expensive. But so this is the Pro Press for copper pipe, and this one here goes from 1/2 inch all the way up to, I think that's 2 inch. So I don't do too much in the 2 inch, and if I do anything over 1.5 inch, I usually just solder all that stuff. But it is kind of nice to have the 2 inch, because in my profession at the job, I'm the only one that does what I do, so it's only me in the whole region. So some of those really big jobs, you know, if I can get away with pro pressing and not spend a ton of time soldering, you know, that's going to be really good. But for most of the old crummy plumbing that's floating around and I can't solder when there's water in the pipes and valves won't shut off, you know, pro presses are really good. And I've actually never taken the second battery out of the package yet. I charged that battery one time 3 months ago, and I've probably done 100+ crimps with it, and it's only at a half charge. So really super good on battery power. It's a little bit bulky, you know, especially when you start putting the heads on there. It's kind of tight to get into places. Let me grab a measure tape. So the machine without the head on it is, you know, almost 15.5 inches. You put a 1/2 inch jaw on there, probably the jaw a lot of people would use. I actually have never used a 1/2 inch jaw. I don't do a lot of 1/2 inch stuff, but you know, by the time you stick that guy on there, I mean, you're almost 18.5 inches. So it does start kind of bulking up pretty quick. This 2 inch, I've never used it, but heck, we'll throw it on there. And I mean, that's just the weight of it alone is probably 20 pounds or more. You know, it's kind of a thing to have to hang over your head. That's almost 20 inches there, and you know, your jaw is 6.5 inches. But anyways, for what I do though, I mostly use 3/4 and 1 inch. It's fine for what I do. I just, when I'm doing my work, I always make sure not to work myself in a corner where I can't get my tool or something in there. So but you know, for $3,200, it's been a really good machine. And that's, you know, and the previous one was an M12. This is an M18. The M12 would only go from 1/2 inch to 1.25 inches. And I find myself doing a lot of 1.5 inches these days. So you couldn't get a jaw bigger than 1.25 inches. And I was kind of having to rent these tools a little bit, and the real commercial ones are real heavy and real bulky and kind of expensive to rent if you can find one to rent. So, you know, it's like this one here will cover anything I'm going to do pro press, so I went ahead and just invested in it. And the M12 was smaller. The gun was probably, well, I don't know, 2 inches shorter and not as nearly as robust as it, but it would get into tighter places. The biggest head was maybe this big. The 1.25 inch head for it was maybe that big. So, but it went through batteries really fast. You could do maybe like 25, 30 crimps on a M12 battery, and you'd have to be charging to keep going. So, good tool. I'm glad I got it, and it's helped me out a lot in the last few months. And when you spend $3,200 with Milwaukee, they always send you something fun. So Alright, we'll move on to these other few items here. So the reason I skipped over the flashlight is with the M12 Pro press I had, I think it was like 2200, 2300, and I bought that one about 3 years ago when I started buying everything. And with that package, they sent me a little saw, an M12 flashlight, and that thing. And sadly, I lost my M12 flashlight. I left it somewhere, as I tend to lose tools, so I couldn't buy that M12 flashlight. The only one I could buy was this 18 volt, but this is a really good flashlight. I really like it. A lot of places I go don't have power or lights down where I'm at, so this thing, you can set it on the floor, tilt it anyway, and you can actually see how much battery you have left in it. And that works really super good for me because that M12 did not have a battery indicator on it, and it would just go dead. And when it went dead, if you were somewhere in the dark, good luck, because it was dead. It wasn't going to turn back on. So this one here at least kind of gives me an idea. Should I bring a battery with me, or whatever. But basically the M12 is exactly the same flashlight from here to the handle, and then it just has an M12 battery. This one, it's got the big foot on it to hold the battery. So this saw has been pretty good. I mostly cut fiberglass with it, which is probably not very safe, not very smart. I also cut a lot of PVC piping with it because I don't do anything with wood, but they sent me the saw, so I'll do something with it. But yeah, it mostly just gets used for cutting through plastic or fiberglass or PVC, and does pretty good. Kind of the same thing. It goes through batteries really fast. It's just an M12 also, so all my real original tools are pretty much M12, except for the drill there was an M8 tool. So this tool here is really wore out. I've used this tool just a ton, and I do have a battery charger, but it's buried somewhere in my service van, so I don't feel like digging it out. But this thing right here has been used and abused really badly. It's actually been submerged in water. It's actually been gotten so wet, and it's been so cold that it's actually froze solid and quit working for a couple months, but then just came back to life. It does have a light in the front, similar to like the grills and stuff, but it kind of quit working probably after it got dumped in a bucket of water. But this thing right here is just, it's a really good tool, but this one is worn out. I've had to replace the cutting wheels, which you can buy those. I've had to replace probably 5 or 6 cutting wheels in the 3 years on this thing. And then it's supposed to have an auto return, and it works fine unless you're cutting a pipe, and then it gets stuck halfway and it won't release from the pipe. So that's kind of a real pain in the butt on this thing. It's getting so old and worn out, it won't hardly release from the pipes anymore. It's kind of a cool design. It'll do 1/2 inch to 3/4 to 1 inch, and I use this mostly for 3/4 and 1 inch, and it's a lot faster than sitting there with one of those little auto cut circular cutters. So pretty cool tool. I really like it, but this one here is worn out. I don't know how much longer it's going to last, but it came free with that other Pro press. So that was the bundle, the saw, and the smaller flashlight. But, overall, I've been really happy with this tool. I mean, and it's only been getting to where it's been stuck, getting out pipes within the last 6 months. But it's been used and abused hard. So yeah, that's kind of all the tools I have right now for Milwaukee. And like I said, I use all these for my profession. I don't use them in the garage except for the impact. But they've all been really good so far. And I think, the tool I use the least the most so far is the little least amount is the circular saw. But then it probably needs a new blade. Well, let me get kind of resituated here, and I guess we'll open up and see what the mystery Milwaukee boxes are, and hopefully there's something fun. Alright, kind of swiped out my address there so you guys can't send me anything I don't want. Yeah, I just use a screwdriver to open all my stuff. You know what, we'll open the little box first. It's really super light, so I don't know what's in here. Maybe nothing. Okay. Air bubbles. Okay, I guess just one battery, so I guess one of these tools is one battery. Bring it up too far. Okay. Try to get that to refocus. There we go. Well, one battery is always good. These M12 batteries, I will tell you, I've had to replace three I think already. They tend to go kind of bad. So, well, that's cool. All right, this box is pretty heavy. I'll just put the packing slip there. All right, let's see what we got. All right. Look at that. I was just saying that one was worn out. Cool. So I got another cutter. Feels pretty heavy. I wonder if the battery's with it. We'll open it up and take a look out. Look at it. Okay. Got a Sawzall. Cool. I actually have a DeWalt Sawzall still I sadly use, but yeah, maybe I'll retire it. So, well, okay, so tool only. Battery and charger not included. Well, could be expected because I'll always get you on something, and looks like some sort of box holder thingy. Oh, I bet it clips onto one of those fancy toolboxes I've seen people scouring around some of the job sites and looking like kings while I pull out my rust buckets and stuff. Oh yeah. Yeah, I bet they want you to buy that thing. Well, that's still pretty cool. I can put all my nuts and bolts and stuff in it that I'm taking off the AMX. Oh, I guess you can actually match all your little trays, so that's pretty cool. I'll put some use to that. I probably won't take it to the job site because I don't really have anything that small I can stick in here. I don't carry what I don't have to with me anywhere, so I carry all my screws, and I mean I use not very many screws, but anything I use I just carry in my tool bucket. So it says tool only. Boy, this one feels a lot heavier than that other one. I guess it don't matter if it destroyed a box or not. I'm not one to save boxes. Just more clutter in the way. You don't need instructions. I probably can't read anyway. So, I wonder what the difference is. This one. This one. Well, other than this one is clean and isn't missing a little battery thing. And hasn't been dumped in a bucket of water yet, and it's actually got grease on it. I guess they're identical. So that's still pretty cool. I can retire old Betsy here and start abusing this one here. Let's see if the light works. Oh yeah, there it is. Yeah, this one's got the light on it, so cool. So that's what the M12 battery is for that guy. So that's pretty neat. So I guess I'm pretty happy. I mean, I don't know what these tools actually cost, but I mean, I'm guessing that was worth all the $3,100, $3,200 I spent on it. So if it's not, then I guess they decided to give me some more toys to make me feel better for spending that much money, or at least compensate since my wife smacked me upside the head for buying the stuff in the first place. Alright. I don't know what that thing is. I must have taken the blade out. I don't know what that is. It's just too fancy for me, I guess. Oh man, look at that thing. I can carry that around on my ladder and drop it on somebody's head and get sued. Alright, I like stuff like that. I like being sued. Alright, well, I hope you enjoyed this quick little Milwaukee review. It's kind of like Christmas slightly in my garage. I guess I'll just call this my Christmas present since we're only a couple of months away. So, but we'll get back onto some LS stuff here in the near future, but until then, we'll see you next time.